Guess who's back? Boom, 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 boom. And another one down, and another one down, and another one bites the dust. Hey! Okay. It's Wednesday, 12/5/2012. If anyone's curious, Walnut Beat Bar again. Wildcats, Willies, Sillies. All right, so anyways, yesterday you should have done quite a few different things. On page 8, you should have written 15 facts, 5 for each high Renaissance master: Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Raphael. And no, I ain't talking about the Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't even know the rest of it. I forgot. Anyways. All right, and then picture it. You should have chosen one masterpiece for each one of those and tried to recreate it there on page 8. So hopefully you did that. Also on yesterday's post, 12/4/2012, is the Leonardo da Vinci. How's that hair look? Leonardo da Vinci video. And you should have wrote 20 facts on the back. That's 20 for all you whiteys. So 20 facts. And again, that documentary is 50 minutes, so you don't necessarily need to watch the whole thing, just enough to get those 20 facts down, okay? So hopefully you get all of that done. We're going to move on to lesson 2. We are going to finish lesson 2 today. Then we're going to spend Thursday and Friday kind of finishing lesson 3 and all the other worksheets, and then we will hand that in first thing Monday, because we're moving on to the age of exploration. All right, daily activity. Want you to define or describe the term Christian humanism. Yesterday was secular humanism, and we'll explain a little more of that as we go on. No current event, so just date 12/5/2012. Describe the term Christian humanism. Answer, pause, get it done, come back. Here we go. All right, Roman numeral 1, some of the ideas of the Renaissance. Remember, the Renaissance is a time after the Black Plague. Everything was gloomy, so people were going to say, hey, we are going to revisit what they were studying during the ancient Greeks and the Romans' time, and hopefully things will be better than what they were. Now, secularism had an emphasis on the individual, characterized new ideas of the Renaissance. The most obvious example of this is the intellectual movement called secular humanism, which you should know what it is because that was yesterday's learning target. Now, what was it? Letter B. The intellectual movement of secular humanism was where intellectuals called humanists studied grammar, rhetoric, poetry, moral philosophy, and history, especially the history of ancient Greece and Rome. So if you think about it, they are going to be called humanists because they are going to believe that through humans and humans alone, they can achieve anything they want. And by studying those different types of contents, they can achieve that. Now, the leader of this movement of secular humanism, his name was Patriarch. What I'd like for you to do off to the side of his name is go ahead and give me 3 facts about Patriarch. Now, if you're struggling to find him, use other keywords when you're Googling him, like the Renaissance or secular humanism and Patriarch, and you'll find that stuff. So get that done. 3 facts about him off to the side. Right over here. All right, letter D. Later humanists believed that learned people should use their knowledge for the benefit of their country. So basically they're saying that, they need to be educated not for themselves, but for their country. Humanists believe that through their studies and knowledge, they were able to become virtuous. They believe that they had the duty to spread this virtue through the art of persuasion. So they said it was like their duty, once they became educated, to spread the word. A couple words I want you to define. One, virtuous. The other, persuasion there in letter E. Get it done. Come on back. Come on back. Come on back. Yeah, I'm feeling that. Hold on now. Come on back. Come on back. Hopefully you completed that. Let's move on. Letter F. Secular humanism exists today with a belief that all things are explainable through science and that only humans have the ability to improve the human condition, rejecting the role of God. So, secular humanism, the idea of secular is there's no God involved. And so it makes sense that secular humanism is that we can improve our condition, our country, the world by ourselves. We don't have to have God involved at all. Most secular humanists today would actually be called atheist or agnostic. A couple things I want you to do before we move on to Roman numeral 2. Do you believe that all things can be achieved without God? That is, us as human beings? Answer that. And then define the two terms, atheist and agnostic. Then let's move on. So, pause, pause. Get that done. Now let's move on. Roman numeral 2, Italian Renaissance art. Okay, there's going to be some new artistic techniques and style, and one of those are going to be fresco painting. That is basically a painting done on fresh, wet plaster with water-based paints, and it gives the illusion of 3 dimensions, almost like 3D. Off to the side there, I want you to look up some examples of fresco paintings, and then I want you to write down 3 examples. Also, some other new techniques was architecture. Filippo Brunelleschi, inspired by the buildings in ancient Rome. He's going to create the Church of San Lorenzo in Florence. It had great columns and arches and is a good example of this humanist perspective. Off to the side, I want you to look up the Church of San Lorenzo in Florence. Look at its picture and then describe it to me in three descriptions of it. Off to the side. Do it. Do it. And then let's go ahead and move on. The masters, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Leonardo da Vinci, not going to really talk much about them. You should have done enough research yesterday to complete that. Roman numeral 3, the Northern Renaissance. Now here is a new idea of Christian humanism, opposite of secular humanism. It is going to emphasize the value of humanity without a separation of God. That people can't do everything themselves. They're going to need God to accomplish those things. Think about that. Now, do you believe this more? Okay, do you believe this as opposed to secular humanism? Letter C, because of limited space, Northern Renaissance artists perfected painting illustration for books and altarpieces. And then let's not worry about letter D. At the very bottom, thinking about secular humanism. All things can be accomplished without God. And then thinking about Christian humanism. All things can be done through God. At the bottom, I want you to tell me which one you believe more. And the big key here, explain. Explain. One more time, backwards. Explain. Explain. Mixpa. That was forward and backwards if you didn't know. All right, turn the page. There you will see the Lesson 2 review. That needs to be completed. You'll see some page numbers there. If you feel like using the book in the back, remember, back there, go ahead. If not, just use the packet or Google that. Google it. You go ahead and Google it, girl. Go ahead, girl. Google it. All right, that's about it. Ladies and gentlemen, again, Walnut Beat Bar. Yay! To the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. Get that done. We should be done with Lesson 1 and Lesson 2 by the end of the day. We're going to move on to Lesson 3 tomorrow. We got a few more things. Packet's going to be done. Weekend's going to be the time. And we're going to move on to the Age of Exploration. Deuces!